Good evening. It is Saturday, December the 7th, 2024. And December 7th, as you know, is a date that will live in infamy. Once again, we come to the anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Although that's not what this video is about, I just wanted to remind you of that. What this video is about is something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and I mentioned it in a previous post on my Facebook page. And it's been on my mind because Facebook, as they do, post a lot of different videos from sources like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, things of that sort. And one genre in particular that has been on my page a lot, I don't know why they think I want to see this, but it's there, are these citizen journalists or video auditors that I'm sure you've all heard about, and you've probably seen a lot of these videos too. And when I see these videos, I'm reminded of the line that Jeff Goldblum's character uttered in the first Jurassic Park movie. And that is, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do it. And what am I talking about? What do I mean exactly by that? Well, first, let me state that as far as the law is concerned, you hear them saying that the law says, the Supreme Court has ruled that anything you see while out in public, you have the right to video. I would argue with that. Not that they haven't said that, but I would argue with whether that's proper or not. Just because the Supreme Court says it, or a judge says it, or a lawyer says it, doesn't mean it's correct. It may be their opinion, but doesn't mean they're right. Now, when it comes to videotaping or taking photographs of the police, firefighters, or any other public servant, and by public servant, I mean people paid with our tax dollars. If that's too confusing for some of you, if you don't understand what I mean by that, just think if your taxes are what are used to pay somebody, then they are a public servant, and they should be open to having people videotape or take pictures of them when they're on duty. Let me qualify that. If they're on their own time, they're just a regular citizen like the rest of us. And so I understand the thought process behind that, and frankly, I'm okay with it. I think the police, in particular, should be held to a higher standard of the law, since they're charged with enforcing it, and since their actions can lead to you or me losing our freedoms for real or contrived reasons. So I really don't have a problem with that, as long as the people doing the videotaping are not interfering with the police or firefighters or otherwise in the performance of their jobs. Okay? I'm talking about, using discernment, using common sense, being able to delineate between when an action is over the line and when it is not. Now, the part about these video auditors that irritates me is, and I don't know why they don't understand that they're harming their own cause when they do this stuff, is when they're out in public, just videotaping ordinary citizens going about their day. They'll be standing in front of a bank or a doctor's office or a grocery store or a restaurant and videotaping people on the sidewalk or going into and coming out of the business. And when challenged by one or more of these people or talked to by the police about it, they start telling them, well, it's not right. The Supreme Court says, the law says, you're wrong, you're going to get sued. Go ahead, call the police. I don't care. You're going to learn something. They get really snarky, they get aggressive, they get, more annoying than they already are. And again, if they think they're doing themselves any favors with that, let me be the first to tell them, you're wrong. You're hurting your own cause and you're making yourself the bad guy. and you're losing any respect that anybody may have had for you when you were doing a real service by, in fact, keeping an eye on public servants paid for with our taxes. If you're videotaping a private business, not City Hall, not the courtroom, not the places that are, in fact, public property where our taxes are paying for it, see, there's discernment again. Understand the difference between private property, like your grocery store, or public property, like the City Hall. If any of this is confusing anybody, especially any of the video auditors out there, just, give me a post, send me a message, and I'll see if I can't clear it up for you. But it just, I see these things. I got to be careful what I say here, too, because, YouTube already has me on a list. And if I say anything that might violate their community standards, I could lose my YouTube page. But I'll imply, and you can use your imagination. I want you to imagine you're out in your front yard mowing the lawn, and some guy on the street, is on a public sidewalk or on a public street, paid for with our tax dollars, so he has a right to be there because he pays taxes too. And he's videotaping you or your wife or one of your kids mowing the lawn. You approach him. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. What are you doing? I'm mowing my lawn. Why are you videotaping me mowing my lawn? It's none of your business. I'm out in public. I'm on a public street. I can videotape anything I see. All right, that may be true, but that doesn't mean you have to. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't recognize what a pain in the ass you're being and how obnoxious you're being. What's the purpose? What are you hoping to achieve other than pissing people off and losing any respect they may have had for what you do? Explain it to us. If any of you are video auditors or independent journalists, send me a message in the post and tell me, what is it you're hoping to achieve with this? It's not like you're videotaping a police officer beating the shit out of some guy for jaywalking. Okay? That's a legit reason to videotape a public servant. But what are you hoping to achieve by videotaping people going into and out of their neighborhood bank or going into and out of the grocery store? What big, deep, dark secret are you hoping to uncover? What point are you hoping to make with all of that? Are you really that blind, that tone deaf, that you don't see the harm you're doing to your own cause when you do stuff like that? So you know how people are in America. We've seen it all too often on so many different issues. The pendulum swings real far from one side to the other. There's no middle ground. There's no discernment. There's no thinking about it. There's no critical thought involved. It's like, all right, well, wow. Is he allowed to do that? Yeah, legally. Okay, fine. Why is he doing it, though? Well, what are you proving by videotaping customers going into and out of businesses? What's the point of all that? And then when somebody approaches you, and I've seen the videos. I've seen some people approach these guys, and the people themselves are, jump right into it with both feet, and they're obnoxious and calling them names and whatnot. I've also seen the auditors do the same thing. First words out of their mouth are cussing at them or calling them names or telling them they're stupid or whatever. But the point is, why are you doing it? What are you trying to achieve? I know what I'd like to see happen to them. There's a couple in particular. I seem to see a lot of their videos. I don't know why, again, but there they are. And they just are the smartest sons of bitches. They think they know everything. They think they can say whatever they want to whomever they want. And no one's supposed to be upset with them for it. No one's supposed to challenge them. I'm not going to say it out loud, what I would like to see happen to those guys on those occasions, but I think you know. That I would like to see videotaped. That I I would be wanting to watch. I'd like to see one of these guys get their comeuppance. And again, when you're videotaping public servants, knock yourself out. Go for it. I don't have a problem with that at all. We know that there are policemen out there, just as in any job, who lie their asses off, who are bigger crooks than some of the people they're trying to catch. So they need to be videotaped. Oh no, Floyd, they don't need to be videotaped. They have body cameras, so they'll have it all on theirs. Yeah, really? Really? This is where I'm going to call you stupid if you believe that. How many times have you seen the news stories? Oh, and for some reason, the cameras were malfunctioning that day. Gee, what a coincidence. So please, let's stop with, the solid blue line, the long blue line. They're heroes. They're protecting our constitutional rights. No, they're not. The police don't give a shit about you. If you think they do, you're deluding yourself. Oh, they enforce laws. They enforce the laws that protect the lawmakers. And by the way, when you say the police are out there to serve and protect, then look up the Supreme Court decisions. Here we go again. Supreme Court says that the police have no obligation to protect you as an individual. Well, then what the hell are they there for? They're protecting somebody. They're collecting money for somebody. So you need to wake up. There's a lot of wrong on both sides of this issue, and there are a lot of people who need to be held accountable. And you need to stop being delusional and thinking that just because someone's wearing a uniform and has a badge on their chest that they're your friend and they care about your constitutional rights. Go back to COVID. You think the police are your friends? You think they're there to protect your constitutional rights? Let's go back 4 years ago. Did you go to a church where you weren't allowed to have church services on a Sunday because it would mean a gathering of people that your local or state government had determined you couldn't do? So the First Amendment, the right to gather peaceably, that's out the window. Since the war on drugs, which started many years ago, have you seen the Fourth Amendment and your rights under that amendment get stronger or weaker? Do you think the officers that are kicking in doors with no-knock search warrants care that they're violating anybody's Fourth Amendment rights? Or does it just make their job easier? What is it Upton Sinclair said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm probably not going to get it exactly right, but I think it goes, it is difficult to get a man to understand a thing if not understanding it protects his paycheck. Just wake up, all of you, on both sides of this issue. Auditors, stop being assholes. Just stop it. You want to videotape the police, then videotape them. Fine. But why are you videotaping private citizens just coming and going on their daily chores? Knowing full well that you're going to piss them off. What's the point? What are you trying to catch them doing? What are you trying to prove that they're up to? It's not like they're using our tax dollars to do what they're doing. So what business is it of yours, Mr. Auditor? Just stop it. Grow up. And all you people who want to get mad when they're videotaping the police, even though the police may be wrong, even though the police themselves don't even know what the law is, stop acting like they're your friends, like they care about you. Like all government agencies, they follow certain laws that help them, laws that help protect the lawmakers. I don't know. It's one of those issues right now that just irritates the hell out of me. And you can't get people to actually stop and think about what they're doing. Because again, like I said, that pendulum just swings back and forth, and they go from one side gets angry at the other side over here, and then After they get angry, this side over here, look at the screen here, Floyd. This side over here now gets angry at that side over there, and it swings back and forth to the extreme rather than someone at some point somewhere slowing it down, bringing it back to the middle and going, all right, well, what are we doing here? What are you doing? What are you trying to achieve? What's the purpose behind what you're doing? And when I say that, when I ask that question, I'm talking about private citizens. Yeah, I could walk down the street out here. I've got some really good-looking neighbors. I could be walking up down the street videotaping them. Hey, what are you doing? I'm just videotaping what I say while I'm out in public. Well, why are you doing that? Well, no reason. Just because I can. You think that's going to make them happy with me or angry with me? And if all I'm doing is videotaping something for my own pleasure, should I really have the right to do that if it's causing that much of an issue? Just think about it. Again, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. That's all I'm saying. Consider the effect it has on other people. As for the police, again, videotape them all you want. Especially if they're in uniform, they're on duty, and you think they might be up to something shady, absolutely record them. And stop. Those of you who think the police can do no wrong, just stop it. They're no different than anybody else. Just because they're wearing a uniform doesn't make them a special human being. They do dirty shit too. They lie. They're crooked. I've known a few in my time who are decent people and good cops. And by good cops, I mean they understand the Constitution and their role in it. But sadly, they seem to be the minority. So you can believe what you want about them. But if you don't record them, if you think that, oh, well, they've got body cams, they'll record it, then you're just being stupid. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, rant completed. I just wanted to make that point. So, put my glasses on so I don't see the screen here. All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Talk to you later.